Welcome back to the channel. This is Kevin with Everglades K9, and today we're going to be working with Theo, the mini Australian Labradoodle, and we're going to be showing you some examples on how to get a loose leash walk out of your dog. Many of my clients, when they first sign up, really struggle with loose leash walking. Their dog is pulling them everywhere. They end up putting their dog on a harness because their dog pulls them everywhere, and in turn, typically what I see, they tell me the harness works great, but then when I watch them walk, the dog is still pulling them, and they really have no way to control the dog in the harness. What I always do is I always recommend we go back to the neck leash, but there's a couple things that we want to keep in mind when we're walking our dogs. Okay, so you probably want to reframe your whole walk. All right, we really don't just want to be walking in a straight line at first until the dog has some leash manners. So what we really want to do is we either want to, if our dog gets ahead of us or starts pulling, we want to come to a complete stop. We do not want to let our dog advance while there's pressure on the leash, especially if the dog is trying to get somewhere. So, for example, if Theo wants to go to the grass, and I just walk with him with all the tension on the leash, and he gets to the grass where he wants to go with all that tension, all right, he's just going to learn that all he has to do is pull me wherever he wants to go, and he'll get there. So, just to keep it easy, we just want to go the opposite way of the dog. We want to force the dog by using the leash to walk with us. All right, and the reason why we use something around the neck is simply because that's where dogs receive all of their information with communication, is around the neck. A lot of what I do and what I teach requires practices in applying pressure and relieving pressure. Okay, we apply pressure to the dog, then we relieve once the dog complies. Apply pressure, good, and mark and reward, and relieve the dog when the dog conforms to the leash, and relieve the pressure. So we apply pressure, good. We relieve pressure. Now we have been working on some walking exercises, so Theo may show you a right example on right away on getting a loose leash walk. But he still tends to run ahead with no regard. He likes to run ahead, and then he starts pulling on the leash. All right. Also, today I'm practicing on the quiet part of my street. Okay, so while I'm learning, I really like to make sure I have the most control out of the environment, and I like to make sure the dog is not too distracted. Okay. Today I'm just working with his flat buckle collar and a leash, and I have his food, and I have my little slobber towel. Okay, very important. I always like to keep a towel, especially when I'm food training. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start walking back and forth with Theo. If he gets ahead of me, I'm probably going to either turn and pop and change direction. I'm also going to start coming to a complete stop, because I do want to start simulating real life scenarios. And while I'm walking in real life, I can't just do a 180 everywhere I am. Okay, sometimes I just need to keep going forward, but what we'll do is if he really starts to pull, I might just stop. I might pop him with the leash or pull him back. I might wait until he looks at me, then I might mark and reward once he looks, trying to build engagement with him. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to start walking away from the can. I'm going to give him the full leash too. So here he goes. There we go. Good. Mark and reward. So you see how he just starts taking off? That's what he wants to do. Let's keep him on my left side. All right, let's watch him. He's taking off. All right, now I'm coming to a complete stop here, okay? So I'm going to start walking towards the camera too so you can see. Little directional change. Good. Yes, if he checks in with me, that's when I'm going to mark and reward, okay? Good boy. I'm going to turn into him. There we go. Good. Good. This is what I want to see. Oh. Yes. All right. So I do want to see him checking in on me, but he likes to look, and then he likes to look forward and just keep trotting. All right. So once he stops paying attention to me, I'm either going to stop And that time he stopped with me. He kind of went to the end of the leash, but there was no pressure. He stopped and he looked back. And I marked and rewarded him for that. Okay, so I like to just randomly stop on dogs. All right, I like to stop when I'm walking, and I want to see them stop with me. All right. Yes. Now he does like to kind of make circles around me a little bit. So I'm not going to really start forming some hard discipline on staying on the left side. We'll kind of continue that as we get a loose leash walk on him. Ideally, good boy. Ideally, I want him to stop and sit with me. Sit. Good. Ideally, I want him to stop and sit with me when I stop. All right, so we're going to kind of start practicing that right now. Let's go. See, when he immediately takes off like that, I want to stop. I want to stop and I want to turn, okay? Here we go. He's kind of checking in. Stop. Whoop. Turn. And when I'm stopping, I'm holding the leash low, and I'm actually kind of letting him self-correct. All right, I do want there to be a little bit of accountability in that. There we go. Good. Good boy. Turn again. Here we go. Notice I'm giving the full leash. Right? He really likes to blow by me, so I'm not making 3 or 4 steps until I feel like I need to stop and I need to turn around. All right? And that's what it takes, guys. That's what it takes. There we go. Good. Come back to me. Good. Now we walk again. Yes. There we go. So I came to an abrupt stop, and he stopped with me. Good. Let's see if we can get him to sit nicely next to me. Theo, sit. Yes. I'm going to mark and reward that. What a good boy. All right. So remember with these walking exercises, walking is really good exercise, but if you're having problems with your dog pulling on his leash, everybody says, well, I don't want to hurt my dog. And you really don't. If you allow him to just pull, they could damage their trachea, especially if you're popping and pulling and constantly fighting your dog. I mean, I've seen dogs advancing on their hind legs, trying to get where they want to go. And it's really up to us as the handler to make sure that our walks are structured, organized, and our dog knows to comply with us when we stop, when we turn. So we want to practice stopping and turning until the dog realizes, okay, I don't get anywhere pulling on the leash. We only go places when I'm walking nicely next to my owner. And that repetition and consistency is where you're going to succeed. Let's go. See what he does. All right, so he is kind of going to the end of the leash. Let's bring him back. Good boy. Let's go. Let's walk a little. He is paying attention to me. All right, but he forgets. Once I take about 4 steps, he starts forgetting to pay attention. Now I'm going to turn into him. Turn this way. Good. And in the beginning phases, I'm only doing linear turns. All right, just back and forth. Yes. When he turns with me, that's when I want to mark and reward, when he turns with me. Once he's really done a good job at just linear turns and turning with me, then I'll start doing random turns. I'll do 90-degree turns. I'll do sideways turns. I'll stop. I'll do all sorts of different things to randomize my motions. But as of right now, he's doing pretty good on leash walking. And I can walk in a straight line, so I'll keep walking. I don't like him leading me too much, so I'm going to pop low and back. Good boy. No need to pop or turn. There we go. Just a little correction. I don't know if you can see that. I'm kind of walking far away from the camera. Come on. There we go. Good. Let's go. Good boy. I also don't want him lagging too much. So typically when I'm walking back towards the house, he goes a little slower. When I'm walking away, he wants to continue the walk. So even if I'm walking straight forward, my leash is low, below my waist, and I'm popping straight back to correct him in motion. Okay, so that's also one way. Now that he's really good with his physical corrections. So whenever I pop with the leash, Theo is always looking back. He may be a little forgetful, but he's still learning right now. But he'll look back and check in on me, and that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so that is another thing. Some dogs are harder to correct. Some dogs have a harder time paying attention. And we do have a lot of wind out here today. If you saw my previous video, Theo was very concerned about the wind. My gate just clanged and he got all freaked out. So, but that's okay. I mean, you can't hide from all distractions forever. Obviously, we want to set our dogs up for success, so they're building their confidence, and that's what we're doing. But I cannot hide him from all of the elements forever. So some of the stuff you just kind of have to keep going with the dog, knowing that in your heart that he's safe, and the rest will kind of work itself out. Okay. All right, so that's going to be the lesson for today. Directional turns, stopping, popping, and marking eye contact, rewarding a nice loose leash walk is key to getting your loose leash walk down. All right, with that said, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I always try to answer as soon as I can, but always remember, happy training, and we'll see you in the next video.